Good morning. How are you? I have a kind of sort of magical sounding title anyway. Uh, so I thought I'd bring it to you from the magical kingdom of me, the unicorn. So, being two places at once, excuse me, merging into higher self, welcoming, not knowing. And before I start reading it, I want to say something about not knowing. Oh, by the way, it's from 3/20/2011, the first of that day. And on the day it was written, the Mayan day was 12 Flint. This not knowing thing is really cool. It's really special. I was just thinking this morning of what knowing is like. And I forget the name of it, but there's a fairy tale about this land where there's a lot of little people, and there's a giant that falls asleep on the ground one night, and when he wakes up, all the little people have got him all tied down and they want to talk to him. And so it's like every point of knowing is a spot where you're tied down to 3D. And you have to be present there. And what it does is it puts a certain amount of energy at that level, at that spot, at that point. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. There's really nothing wrong with anything, but moving on. So it's all the points of knowing that kind of, in a way, trap you. They pin you down to 3D. And as we let them go, as we're willing to enter into this way of being called not knowing, we break free from all that. And we get the opportunity to soar. And anything becomes much more possible. I mean, anything's possible anyway. That's just how it is. That's how things are designed. But it's our points of knowing that limit us. And so I shall read to you my journal. Here we go. How are things different today? How am I different? What has changed? These are such excellent questions to have with your coffee to start the day with. There is change always, but it can be more notable from one day to the next. Besides, we do quite a lot in the night. Or do you know? Are you one of those who remembers your dreams? Even if so, don't think that's all that you, quote unquote, do. Not by a long shot. We exist on more levels and dimensions than we have current conscious access to, even in dreaming. Be open for that, that's all. Allow the possibility room to play. Now, there are some still sufficiently entangled with mind that when I say something like that, they immediately want to go exploring it, to poke and to prod to see what they can find in themselves. And that is fine. Nothing wrong with it. Heck, that might be just what is called for them. For myself, though, I don't generally poke and prod. And here's why. It's got to do with focus. We're more powerful as we concentrate and focus our energy. As we narrow it down, laser versus sunshine. I found that to be so as I was withdrawing from all of the mind's scattering. As I pulled more and more of that energy into heart concentration or focus, it was great. I found myself, so to speak, and remember, those are just words. Be in heart only to understand. Don't get lost in the words or in thinking you know what they mean. Heart does. Of course it does, but not head. So, aside from the blessing and benefit of being gathered in one place, heart, There's another reason I don't poke and prod at such things, trying to find out more. Now, I don't know if I can put it into words, but it goes something like this. In heart, one finds one's focus. You connect with or come into that which really lights your fires, and it's not all scattered and spread out. It's more focused than that. So, what I like to do is let focus lead me. It doesn't drive me into something. I look, but I don't go there. It may be quite interesting, even intriguing to the mind, but I don't care. I've separated out from mind just enough that it's not in the driver's seat anymore. So I don't automatically follow it. No big deal, I guess. But I thought I'd share that with you anyway. It's another one of those differences you find in heart-centered life. The heart leads, not the head. So it becomes rather important to be able to distinguish the two. Observing. From your perch within heart, this is not difficult after a short while. It becomes obvious. Heart and head have a really different vibration to them. You can tell. The things head, the glare. The things head brings up, well, you've got some experience in ignoring them. This is just the next step. Next time something comes up and it's interesting, got your attention, and you know the impulse to go along to explore it some more, maybe try this. First, check in with the heart. Just put the thing or the question in heart, and then just wait. Just be empty and open. Be real with the fact that you don't know whether the impulse is from heart or from head. You're asking heart to make it clear for you. Then just wait. Now comes the tricky part. If nothing comes right away, then do nothing. Don't go and pursue that thing or question, whatever it is. You're not finished waiting yet. Heart doesn't always respond instantly. Sometimes it takes an hour or a day, maybe longer. You're learning to trust the heart, to trust its leadership. This has to do with where your center of gravity is, so to speak. If it's in mind, then you'll not be able to wait. You'll just have to go and explore. And that's fine, remember. Nothing wrong with that. Just let things be what they are. If you've set the firm intent to eventually live from heart center, that will happen for you. Just not overnight. Don't expect it to. Be patient with you. What I've often found over the time I've been doing this is that quite often when you wake up, you'll just know. When you wake up in the morning. I don't know how that works. You just wake up with answers, that's all. I've learned to be grateful and not to question the method of it. Really, it doesn't matter anyway. The point is you've got your answer, right? Okay, moving on. Nor are we. I don't know. Perhaps from the silence inside, I have my cue. Let me go back to my opening question and let's see. I was asking, what is different now? What has changed since last night or since yesterday? Well, for the last day or two, I've been almost dizzy and rather blissed out over something going on. And I didn't know what it is. I still don't. But at least I have a better impression or understanding of something about it. Let's see if I can put it into words. What I realize now is that I was operating in 3D with less than the fullness of quote-unquote me in place there. A large portion of who and what I am, whatever the heck that is, was focalized elsewhere. I was simply working on something else. Or maybe I was being messed with. Who knows? Rarely, though, does that occur to the extent that it leaves the me that's left behind all but worthless to accomplish much of anything. Full use of my mind wasn't really possible. I know, because I contemplated doing a journal focused on the Peter Russell lecture I've been talking about, The Primacy of Consciousness. I knew I didn't have access to what it would take, which would be the fullness of self. I simply knew, or was told, it would have to wait until I came back to myself. Very strange. Always something new. What can I say about all of this? Well, perhaps only this. I found it pays to be totally open to things and to really and honestly make room for another favorite saying of mine: anything's possible. And that really does mean anything. And in that case, you can't expect to always understand what's going on. So you make friends with not knowing. You've heard me say that before. Well, this is some of what it looks like in action. Do you see it here? I don't know are 3 words I take very seriously. I don't fight them. I embrace them. I welcome them. I make room for them. With them, I'm totally at home. Capital H. Okay, I've got a PS. P.S. I'm still partly there, whatever there was and is. I haven't fully returned. However, there seems to be more of me available to me now, so that's nice. I was basically useless for much of anything last night. Oh my goodness. Ain't life grand? And now look, not only a PS, but a PPS that I forgot, so I'm tacking it on to this video. Here we go. So, I came back later that morning and wrote this. I've come back to add on to this journal in just sitting here and being, in working with the crystal, simply holding it over this or that chakra. I'm getting dizzy again. More than that, though, I have another idea about what might be happening here. There's just so much more flow in this body than I'm used to experiencing. You know, sometimes or often, hard understanding comes in layers and levels, by stages. So what comes to me now is that it's possible I'm simply integrating with higher self. Rather than having another aspect of self off and doing something else, I could be shifting the locus of my center, higher up. There, that's all. I just wanted to share that. Heck, I don't know yet. That just seems to fit pretty well with what's going on here. Things are really moving fast. What can happen in a short time is concentrating, getting more intense. So, pay attention, my friends. Don't get stuck in the past. And drop all expectations of anything, too. They'll do nothing but limit you. Give this a chance to just be. Oh, and one final note. Oh, this is funny. The typo for that was not. This could also be psychotronics or scalar energy or some other dastardly deed of the dark ones who are running things. We have to be open to simply anything, right? Are you open to all possibilities? Now, it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel negative at all. But this is just being open to all possibilities. Remember, don't place any trust outside of the heart. Don't assume. Just watch and just be. And I'll step out here and say that typo was talking to me, where I said one final note and the typo was not, and my fingers just kept typing. So that wipes that one out. Now, I had a PS and a PPS, and here's a PPPS. I come back later yet again to say this. Okay, I guess this could also be understood in terms of Kundalini energy movement. Bottom line, it's still not totally clear. See you later.